go live. Jamie knows what I'm talking about. I'm not the one that does it, and ordinarily, so Jamie's
you outsource.
Yeah,
you're a manager.
So
We're learning today.
I looked up and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, are we even live? We're live.
TIL.
Thank God we didn't go too far into this. How deep this? What's your guys' time constraints?
What time is it? I coach at noon.
All right, we should be getting over that. And I'm really honored today to have a podium winner on. He stood at the top of the podium. It is a local hobby store event, and won the. I'm not even sure, they have different divisions apparently.
Yeah,
and he
was that RC cars.
Yeah.
So there's Tim at the top of the podium. There's two other bros that stand on the. So the only thing about this picture, he sends it with 3 people, and it is it's an amazing accomplishment because those guys are just absolute geeks about their cars and they've got hella skills. But what's funny is Tim clearly stands out as like, which one doesn't look like the others? I told
Tim's hobbies expand beyond the RC world.
It's marketing, dude. It's marketing. I wear this all the time. That's why I even thought about it. I was like, man, what shirt should I wear? What if I make the podium?
Unless once you get deep into fitness and deep into CrossFit, you start to, there's a point at which you become uncomfortable a little. There's places where you become uncomfortable in your skin a little bit, where you realize, oh, I'm the only fit person here. And then you think, and I look, I'm 61. Sometimes I get self-conscious about it. Like, oh, they're just going to think I'm one of those workout nuts. And they do. People make jokes. They make, usually what people comment on is their own fitness. They don't comment on yours. They comment on theirs.
Right.
Oh, I need to get to the gym. Oh man. Yeah. What do you do?
You're making me feel bad, man.
What do you do? You're looking jacked.
Yeah, you make it. JV says, "Yeah." JV goes, "You're making me feel bad." I've had that comment before. I used to get when I was younger. Do you do steroids? I remember being with my daughter.
So much in high school.
Yeah, being with my daughter.
What do you take
at a water park, and we were on the lazy river, and there's a group of teens going through, and I took her there to hang out, and we were going to the water park, and then I stood up at one point, and a group of kids come over, and one of the kids goes, "Do you take steroids, dude?" And it was
yeah.
I started to, no, I don't. I've been natural my whole life, but if you eat protein, you take it, and you start working out the more.
My favorite question is, how much do you bench press? That's the question I like. Guys will be like, oh, you're strong. How much do you bench?
Do girls get that question? Do Jack girls get that question?
That's probably my most common question. How much do you
really
bench? Like a random guy will be like, how much do you bench?
Yeah.
And it's the guy who's like sits at like 24-hour fitness and spends all of his time doing dumbbell curls and bench pressing.
I feel like I haven't heard that question in years, but maybe it's because I'm not in those locations anymore.
Well, I don't get them there. I get them at like the grocery store or like.
Oh, okay. Gas. Yeah.
I grew up in that environment, the bench press, back squat environment.
Which bench?
No deadlift. And admittedly, when I see our women in this gym bench pressing, I look and I compare it to myself. Like almost immediately, like, oh, that's 165. That's nothing.
That's because you got beat by pregnant women in the open.
Yes, two pregnant women beat me in the open. And the one
on both workouts or just the one?
Well, on both workouts, but
you start your own leaderboard.
Cynthia,
Craig versus the
Pregos.
New moms.
By the way, I don't feel bad comparing myself to women at all, because let me tell you about the women in my gym. Cynthia, who is one of our competition athletes, she's 5 months pregnant, and she comes running over to me after I finish the workout. What'd you get? Like, yes. And she thanks.
Well, so you get it. You got to give her the response. Like I tell my kids, I'm like, you realize if you beat me, then I still win, because they think it's like zero sum game. I'm like, well, if you beat me, then I've done my job and I'm a great dad and a great coach. And they're just like, oh.
Yeah, you just
Good. I'll keep that in mind.
I was like, yeah, cool. I get to brag on you now. Yeah. Hey, remember that time? Like I did such a good job raising my kids. My 16-year-old can beat me.
And then when
good job, babe.
And then when they're in therapy at 30 years old and we wonder why.
Yeah, but I won't be paying for it by then.
Because you did your job.
Win-win.
Because I did my job. They got your own job.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, all three of the kids are in the teen division right now. So because the way they're spaced, Natalie and Nicole are both in the older teen division. So Natalie's on the young side. She's not 16 yet. And Nicole is she's on the young 16, 17. Nicole's on the old side of 17. So her birthday is after the game. So she's a old 17.
Oh,
so,
okay.
and they're kind of 1-1 now. So like Nicole won the first one and Natalie won the second one.
Oh, that's the best. And this
Oh,
week's
man.
gonna be.
Here comes the third one. Here comes the tiebreaker.
Oh, man. I know.
That's good.
And Luke is, and they better enjoy it because like Luke is starting to like push the weights now. So like he's trying to get stronger and he's going to be 14. So he's going to be a young 14. He's not even 14 yet. So, but yeah, he'll probably be stronger than them a year from now. It's crazy.
So I wanted to open up here with just a congratulations on happy, or actually not even congratulations, just happy anniversary to everybody on here. Do you know what the anniversary is?
Yes.
4 years since today's 4 years from the date of the start of the pandemic. And I wanted to ask,
why are you bringing up
from 2 weeks to flatten the curve?
4 years. I just wanted to ask you a question. I want to belabor it too long, but I'm still bitter. So I'm gonna and I
no one like you.
And Jamie's not here with the podcast. I'm kind of in command now, so we get to talk about it just a little bit. But all I wanted to do is ask right off the top is what are your best? What are you proud of during the pandemic, and what are you pissed off about from the pandemic? Because that whole process relative to obviously your gym. Who wants to?
I mean,
first?
I feel like the fact that we're all still here, we're proud of our ability to pivot and just like creativity, and just like seeing through, and being good business owners. Because I feel like that was really a test to like your preparation and just how you ran your business before. Yeah.
100% on that.
And just still pissed off at California. I don't know if I'll ever not be.
I was in the grocery store this morning and there's people walking around with masks on.
Nah. Yeah.
I have March 16th. This is my programming calendar. Last day in gym before Corona 2020. March 16th. It was a Monday. And then everything got X'd off, and I was like, "Well, I guess we're not doing that." I had it all planned out. So,
what are you? And by the way, from now on, I want to go back to calling them what they actually are: surgical masks. So let's go back because that's what they were before the pandemic. They were surgical masks, and they were used in surgery to keep droplets of shit out of patients' mouths and faces and openings.
But what about all the face guards and the fabric ones? Those are
well, you can call those just propaganda.
Fashion statements.
Propaganda.
But the surgical masks are surgical masks. They're used for surgery to prevent droplets. And if anybody needs to, education on it, look in them. An electron microscope and you can see what it looks like. It's trying to catch BBs with a fishing net. It ain't gonna work. But surgical masks that have big gaps in them and let air in. And even K95s are construction masks to keep out small particles of dust and debris.
And 95.
Yeah, those two.
I think. I mean, I really feel just super fortunate. I mean, there were so many pains in the butt to get into our gym, and like, I mean, it took over a year. Like, I paid rent for a year before we could even get in here. I mean, it was just, we lost so much money. I mean, it cost money, and like getting ripped off by contractors, all this kind of stuff. But then something like this happens, and because we had a parking lot, because we had parking lots next to us, so when we did come back together or did do things, and then when we were able to put tents up, and we did have, a landlord that was like, they didn't bother us at all. Like, and they actually worked with us a lot on, they definitely gave us rent assistance, did some kinds of things. And so we were just super fortunate. And then of course the community was all great. I mean, there was a lot of folks, definitely there was a lot of folks that are like, hey, I lost my job. Hey, I can't pay. Hey, and then others were like, yeah, I'm like, just cancel me, but we had an amazing core group that had been here for a long time. I mean, I'm sure Craig and I have talked about it, and they told me, they're like, because I had the mindset, I was like, I came to work every day. And second, because I was like, there's no way I could stay home. And like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do at home? Like, be a pain in the butt, that my kids are in school. And because they didn't get affected because we were homeschooling. But the community, multiple people were like, hey, we're not going to let you like go away. Right. Like you're going to get through this, call us before you do anything. Right. Yeah. Type of deal. So, just people like that. I mean, there was such opportunity for, people of, such good character to come through, and it was cool. So, I mean, then it felt like, oh man, these are the people that you're serving. And in the process, you end up picking up a lot more.
You figured out who your ride or die people are,
which was half.
Yeah.
So for us, like 1 year, I ran the numbers, and 1 year, March of 2021, it was pretty much right at half. We had the same population, same gym membership, but it was 50% were different.
Yeah. Jamie, what about you?
What was the question again? Whether you're
what best,
we're proud of?
Yeah. What was the thing you're still pissed off about, or the thing that you're kind of most proud about?
I would say it's what Zia said, as far as pissed off at the state still, because they're still pushing, get this stuff done, or it's on the rise. The numbers are on the rise.
Oh, really? I don't even pay attention.
See it, then they just blow it off. But as far as just proud, I mean, like with the whole Diablo, family, just sticking around and trusting in what we were doing there, as far as adjusting the programming, from going outside to going inside. And, when Craig made that decision to make that adjustment, there was really nobody upset about that transaction or that transition to come back inside.
Yeah.
But even though we were still, following whatever protocols that, the government was telling us that we should have in place, whether it be the CO2 monitors, the transition ending class like 15 minutes early so we can clean everything to move over. Everybody within the community just, yep, we're here. We're happy to be here. And thank you for, putting in these protocols so that way at least it seemed safe.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. So those, like, I guess I'm most proud of that I had the courage, and it was as a result of relationships that I have with you guys, to kind of stand up to the county, in my case, and the city, to keep our members coming in, which became, as like I think Tim referenced, like it became the only place they could come where they could interact with other humans, and was good for mental health. And I'm also like what's really cool is that it harkened back to the original days of CrossFit affiliates, where we would reach out to each other or go on message boards to get ideas for how to solve problems that we had within or ideas for bettering our business. And I remember having conference calls with Juliet Starrett, San Francisco, and TJ over in on the peninsula, talking about how do we get the PPP and the EIDL, how do you process that, where do you process that, and then talking to Zoltan and Pleasanton about how to not get arrested. And then talking to Tim about how to fight the man. But and all of us developed this relationship, interestingly enough, as a result of the pandemic. But owners kind of came together, and I guess I'm still bitter about the tactics that were used and the missed opportunity, opportunity that our government had and CrossFit had to promote health and wellness because I know you guys are seeing it, I'm seeing it. The people that are coming in now are people that genuinely want to improve their health. And I think it's a reflection upon what they saw during the pandemic, and plus the weight gain that they personally gained, or they saw others who were affected by COVID as a result of their metabolic diseases they had. And so I think there's a profound shift in people's need for or valuation of how important fitness is to their longevity. So it was a long-winded, but I had more time to think about it than you guys, but anyway, happy anniversary. It's long past, and hopefully never happens again.
Never let it come back again.
I remember back when we were in the midst of it in 2020, my buddy Brian Yoke in Ohio, he's OG, right? And he was like, now I just tell my members, he's like, I'm telling my members, now you know what CrossFit was like when we found it. Like, being OGs, right? It's like, yeah, there were no gyms. It was like a message board. It was a website, and you go find out the workout, and then you go do it in your garage. He's like, welcome to, CrossFit 2009, or 2008, whatever, right? It's like
underground.
Yeah. It's like, make your equipment, figure it out, make substitutions, remember the old, how many sumo deadlift high pulls is it for 500 meters? You're like, like, I don't have a rowing machine. You're like, well, most of us don't. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was, but I think you're right. The positive thing, right, is to say like, okay, there was opportunity, and then, yeah, we definitely took opportunities. And even then it's like, there was still probably more, right? Like that we, and I'm like, oh geez, I should have been writing this email, my weekly email, like the way Craig does and did, because you conditioned your people to be able to make those moves. And I was like, oh man, I can't make that move because I haven't developed them. I haven't, like, they're not with me quite like that. They're with me, but they're not like at that level of with me.
Yeah.
So, just different things.
That's an interesting concept, actually. Is the with you concept? In other words, you're in almost all affiliate, where the affiliate owner is present, the community is a reflection of that individual and their ability to build relationships.
I got that. I picked that up. I pick up what you're putting down on that comment.
And it's interesting because there are, and this is I think a really, really important for affiliate owners, what Tim just talked about. I think you have less attrition and more retention if you have a better connection with everyone. That's not easy to do with the Dunbar numbers. Like, I don't know, what is the Dunbar number?
150.
Yeah, 150 people that you can personally make a connection with. But you can connect with them. You can expand that Dunbar number, one, through the people you hire that reflect you and your personality and your values. But you can also then connect to them through, say, email, or through maybe not as much through social media, but somewhat through social media as well. Having that connection with them, so they know who Tim is, they know who Zia is, they know who Craig is, and that's important. I think you can do more things, and you have a more pliable member base, which allows you to deliver more of what you want to deliver to them, which is health and fitness. It's relevant for a number of different reasons. The conversations I've had this week with people, it is a reflection of the community. As soon as you start to take that away, you move to something like a pay per visit model, where there's no connection and you're just really trying to get bodies in there, and that might generate more revenue. There's no connection.
Rarely.
Well, it's like, so, I mean, Dusty, we were talking about it. I think he was talking about it when he was here for the affiliate thing over in the East Bay. Right. And he was like, cause me and him were going back and forth, kind of on, when we talk about like people traveling, right. Whether it's for holidays during Christmas time or whether it's holidays over the summer. Right. And you're like, they're going to come back, but they're like, oh, can you cancel me while I'm gone or whatever? You're like, and it grinds your gears. Cause you're like, okay, you're going, like your plane ticket alone, like your baggage fees for all the places that you're going is more than your membership that you're paying. Right. And you're not going to notice that, but I do. Right. Like, because if enough people do that, then now I'm really thinking about it. Right. Whereas like, it's nothing to you. It's like, you just spent $5,000 on a plane ticket and, at least, a few $100s on baggage fees. So then he's like, hey, what they really focus on is the difference between consumption and investment. Right. And so it's up to us. It's up to us to teach them, like, you are investing when you're paying your membership. It's an investment. It's an investment, number one, in yourself. Right. You're investing in yourself. You're investing time, money, energy, effort, etc. But it's an investment in the facility. It's an investment in our coaches and our employees, and that it ensures that the doors will be open when you come back. Because if everybody did that, well, then, like for me with COVID, I was like, I'm not going into the red. If we ever went to the red, I was like, I'm shutting it down, selling everything. We're done.
This is just kind of a public service announcement. I will tell you right now, because of 17 years of in this, and I've been in and around a lot of CrossFit affiliates, met a lot of owners, met a lot of coaches. They're the least greedy people on the fucking planet. Like and my wife will verify this. Ask us, because every freaking payroll and Carrie Olson, who manages and does our payroll, we literally have to try. The private coaching sessions out of our coaches to get them on the books so that we can actually pay them, because they're not in it's which includes Jamie Lee, by the way. I know for a fact, and it's maybe why they call me dad around here, because I know for a fact, like when payroll goes by for 6 months, I don't think any of them have ever looked at a paycheck stub. This is whatever goes in the bank account goes in the bank account. No one's going through, oh, I didn't get paid for those hours. It doesn't happen. I don't know if that happens to your guys' gyms. We're the least greedy people ever. So, and the reason is, it's not because we're not self-conscious about, the needing to make a living. It's because we're doing this, and coaches are doing this. It's an uncanny thing about CrossFit. They are doing this genuinely because they want to help people, and they want to deliver this methodology because they believe in it so much and the impact it can have on your life. It's really remarkable. It makes us ripe for being taken advantage of by folks that say things like, well, and I know there's a lot of affiliate owners, hey, I just want to come a couple days a week, or I just want to, can I just get a 10-pack? Or hey, can I put my membership on hold for a month while I go tour Europe? And we want to be nice. We want to be helpful. Yeah, you know what? Okay, that's fine. And I know, but what is it? Probably 80% you guys, you think, do that? Zia, you counsel affiliate owners. How often do they let
a lot of affiliate owners will accept anything, any negotiation to get that member and keep it. They will negotiate themselves down to whatever it will do to get that member to be there, which is the first thing you always have to say is, like, you got to stop doing it. You just gotta, this is your price. This is what you can afford. Stop negotiating. The 10-packs get me, the punch cards, like the half in and half out. It's like, you're in or you're not. Like, I get that there are like certain instances where some people I don't do punch cards. Like, if you want to come sporadically, you can pay my drop-in fee. I'll take $30 from you every time you want to come. But You do not get full access to my programming, my gym, my Wi-Fi, my community if you're 1 foot in. Like that's, you don't want to pay $30 a session, you can pay a membership. I will not like entertain any of that stuff. But most affiliates are so worried about that bottom line. How many members do I have?
Yeah. I tell them to their face, I'm like, hey, I was like, so you want a CrossFit booty call? Right. I was like, so is that it? Like, you just feel like getting some CrossFit today. So like, hey, what are you doing? What's the workout today? Right. Like, action. You know, and I'm like, I was like, no. I had a guy, he shows up in the middle of class yesterday during the 5 o'clock. And he's like, and visitor from Argentina. I get that out of him. And he's like, okay. He's like, hey, can I? And I was like, you know, fill out the form, blah, 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 whatever, you know, we'll figure it out. And he's like, no, can I come now? Right. Like for the 6 o'clock class. And I was like, no. I was like, I have to coach these people right now. I can't set you up. And the next 2 classes are sold out. Like they're full. And sure enough, there was 15 people that showed up at 6 o'clock. So if I had to put him in there, then that would have taken away from their experience. Right. And I was like, that, you know, $30 isn't worth that. You know, like I'm going to focus on these folks that are going to be here, you know, Thursday and next week and Saturday for the open and everything else. So yeah, you're totally right. And it's super scary to do, but it's like, you know, figure out a better model. I think I've had so many people like they come in and I'm like, they're like, I want to come at this time or this day, whatever. And I'm like, sorry, that class is full. If you can get into this other class, I was like, then I can put you on the wait list for that class. And they're like, oh. And I know they probably leave, they go, they check out all the other gyms, and then they send me an email. Okay, I can make this work, you know. And I'm like, all right, cool.
We get that too. But by the way, just then for anybody that's listening or going to listen to this podcast, Tim's model is slightly different. So he looks at his classes as and class specific times. He's selling a training space in that class, that specific class, the Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 8 a.m. However, he has it broken up, but he's selling those spaces. This is an OG way of doing it, and it's actually a really cool way of doing it in terms of building relationship with your customers and allowing them to build a relationship with the people in their class. Diablo's big. We are a bigger gym, and we have more classes, and we allow people to go to whatever class they want. I will, in defense of Tim's position, I'll tell you that like our 5 a.m. class is always our 5 a.m. people, like they're regulars, and
same.
Yeah, and so there's some real value there in having that same group of people because now they're doing the work that Tim can't do 24/7. Your members are building relationships with each other, which keeps them coming back. So then someone wants to leave and like, crap, they take a month off and I want to stop my membership. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what, I'll stop your membership for a month. But if someone takes that spot at 5 a.m., bro,
back to the waiting list.
Yeah, back to the waiting list. And that would be like, so you're divorcing, you're not only divorcing Tim, which might be okay. You're divorcing all of your friends that you've got, that you've built relationships with, that know you, that know maybe your kids and know your stories, and that's really powerful. It's a great tool, and it's a different model entirely, but it's a cool one.
I have a little bit of a unique situation with where I'm located, being in Encinitas, right on the coast. I get probably 100 drop-ins a month.
Wow.
In the summers, it's crazy. So my drop-in revenue and my weekly memberships, I sell weekly memberships for $85 and then drop-ins for $30 from people, CrossFitters all over the country that come in and they're vacationing in Encinitas, California. So we have kind of like a unique situation where our members are super used to having people who are CrossFitters from other communities dropping into our gym all the time. luckily we have a big enough space where that's not a problem.
How do your members perceive that? Are they just used to it? Because that's the same thing in Hawaii too. Hawaii has that.
They're really welcoming. They love it. It's what they've always known, right? So they don't know any different. Yeah. But also San Diego is very much a transient town. People in San Diego spend half their year in Vermont, and they go all over they travel just as much. So they are used to not only being at my gym, but spending a month in Costa Rica or going to Europe, or, everybody in my gym travels so much as well. So it's kind of like, it's always been a part of our community, being so close to the beach, and it's just normal for them. And it's usually 99% of the time not a problem. People who haven't CrossFit before, the website makes it pretty clear. And it's pretty normal for us, but it's an interesting thing, and that not everybody, people in San Diego have. I know Invictus gets insane drop-ins, being like right on the water.
Well, right on the water, and then everybody knows the Invictus brand.
And but again, as long as you have the space, which I have the space, so I don't have to cap classes, but like, it's just, that's like a normal thing for us. But I have like it's like a legit revenue stream that I did not get during COVID that I was used to, but it's something that we've always had. And so we have regular drop-ins. We have people that
you said 100 a month. Is that what you said? 100 a month?
I had 96 last month. And then in the summer, sometimes it's more.
Oh my gosh.
I had four drop-ins in one class this morning at 6 a.m. all from different places. But like,
we get it, like if there's events at Stanford or like a tech conference, that's when I know, like, hey, what's going on at Google or whatever, right?
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
There are the people that are coming, and I imagine they are, because if they're doing CrossFit on vacation, like my wife and I go down and we've stayed in OB, and we go to CrossFit OB, and the are the people that are coming in, if they're doing on vacation, they're probably competent, right? I mean, if they're jonesing for CrossFit on vacation, they're probably into it. So like, you don't have to.
Yeah, if you're bringing your jump rope and your knee sleeves on vacation with you, like
bringing their lifters,
you're not going to be like, what's a deadlift? So it's never usually a problem, like, because I have a hard no CrossFitting on vacation rule. But like the people who are doing that they're very into CrossFit.
I have a hard no on CrossFitting on vacation too. Unfortunately, my wife does not.
My husband,
hard no.
Come on, Craig.
Dude,
if she's not bringing her equipment, she's going to a gym.
She loves going to CrossFit gyms when we're on vacation. She's got the class.
So does my husband.
That's the only time when Chris and I can actually work out together.
Oh,
that's a good point.
That's interesting.
And sometimes it'll be all five of us, which is cool.
That's really cool.
I'll tell you one thing though, that is, like the last one we did was in Tahoe, and I was just like, really? Okay. And we went, and I have a great time. And then what's cool is you go in and you CrossFit, you meet people that are there, and then they tell you about places to go or places to eat. Like, we got places to eat from them. And then you come back and you're like, that was awesome. And you met some people on vacation, and no, it turns out to be it's kind of a real nice added benefit. I remember when we did that years ago, went to CrossFit Lahaina. They're brutal workouts, but the people were super cool, and it was just, I don't know, it felt really good to get it done and do it, even though I try to avoid it.
We did a Grace Meets Helen as a Barbell for Food fundraiser out of Lahaina, and met somebody there that took us over to CrossFit Upcountry afterwards. And then afterwards, Christy and I, she drove us, we followed her to her house, she took a quick shower there, and then she drove us down to watch the Jaws, like, because the big swell was coming in. There's no way we would have had that experience had we not gone to an affiliate to meet somebody else, to go to another affiliate. And it was one of my favorite drop-in experiences.
Well, that guy's the buddy of yours now, right?
Yeah. We've run into him at the Whistler thing, just this last summit that they had. Yeah, it was fun.
I see those gyms in those locations, and I think, okay, that's what I could do for retirement.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think, again, if anyone wants to know what CrossFit's like, owning CrossFit, like, if it's going well, you you're not fantasizing about not doing any work at all. You're fantasizing about just running your gym in a different place, vacation spot. Yeah. We should set up like an owner trade where, someone comes to my location, I go to their location. Zia.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, but then she could come to Diablo and just kind of like wander around like you do.
I could straighten
Jamie Lee's got it sorted out. He's got it taken care of.
It's called manage by walking around. MBWA, man.
Somebody's got to fix that floor cleaner.
Yeah.
The floor cleaner.
That would not be me.
The sauna. The cold plunge.
Dude, I'm the maintenance guy. I am the low bid. Anytime I got to get a maintenance guy to fix it, and I call him and I find out how much it is. I'm like, I think
I could do that. Pull up YouTube.
Home Depot, here we come.
Yeah.
Which time?
How's the open going for you guys? For us, we've had a record year of attendance, or participation. Had a little bit of fall off in week 2, not bad. 10%. We had a 10% fall off of score entry, and it was
actually we did too.
Yeah, my Yvonne said that a lot of it was either people traveling, or they were injured and couldn't do the workout.
Yeah.
I had one person travel, and the local CrossFit would not let them drop in to do the workout.
Jeepers.
Really?
She was there for like 4 days. Yeah, she was there, and they were like, "No, we don't let out of towners," which I thought was kind of a bummer. Like, I hosted, I think, 7 drop-ins at my Friday Night Lights that weren't my members last week.
So what are you hiding? What are you hiding? What kind of standards do you do?
Seriously.
You don't want people to see it?
And she asked if she could.
Yeah,
she's
right.
like, "Can I borrow a jump rope so I can go to like 24-hour fitness?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Wow, that's
wow."
So she actually was
name
like,
and shame. Come on, name and shame.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Who is it? Let's put them on blast.
Put it in the chat. Let's go.
CrossFit Palo Alto.
Actually,
never. We've had so many visitors.
No, I actually know she was in Hawaii. That's all I know.
That's a bummer.
I used to have a regular guy that was a garage fitter, and he wanted to be able to come, and so he did 3 different opens with us every year, and he'd send me an email. He's like, "Hey, can I come?" Because he didn't want a video, whatever. And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I was like, "That's cool." Like, he was legit, So, and he was a nice guy. He wasn't just like,
why not?
I mean, there's definitely folks that like, oh, hey, you left us to go somewhere else, right? Yeah. And now if you wanted to come back and be like, dude, come on, go back to your booty call gym. Right.
But like somebody that doesn't usually go to a gym or a drop in from out of town. I mean, like not out. Like take her $30 or however much it is and just let her do the open.
I don't even charge her. They're always like, can I pay you? I'm like, dude, just have fun. Count for somebody. Make sure you judge for somebody else. We had a dude in from Japan one year. The guy could barely speak English, and like he was overwhelmed by the amount of people screaming in his face. It was one of the ones when it might have been this snatches and pull-ups, and he tried so long. I think he finally snatched 225, either 185 or 225, and it was insane. I mean, the whole place. You'd have thought he just won the Olympics, right?
That's
and
so
because people don't care. People just want to see you show up. Like, it's not about
No, they don't. I like them to come if we can get them into Friday Night Lights to come to Friday Night Lights, because I want them to walk in and just my members are insane about Friday Night Lights, and while I would
it's gotten crazy.
Oh well,
yeah, you guys are a freaking party,
dude. And I'd love to take like responsibility for that. But I'm like the opposite guy. Like I just want to do it and bring them together, and then bring them in at 5 and send them home at 7. And my wife's very competitive. She loves it. She gets it fired up, and then we create these intramural teams, and then I appoint captains, and they get carried away. But the energy is ridiculous. And then people want to. Last week, so the first week, one of our members that manages a Toyota dealership. Said, "Hey, I call." He goes, "Hey, can I do the food for your event?" I'm like, "What? Do the food?" He goes, "Yeah." And I thought he was going to cater it. Brought a taco truck, parked it out front, paid for the whole thing. Everybody ate.
Saw that.
The next week, get this. Next week, one of my teams, they love doing the Filipino barbecue, so they said, "Hey, we're going to do it." And my wife's like, "No. We'll get a truck." No, we're doing it. And they did. They brought, I went and bought a $250 barbecue at Home Depot just because I was like, I felt bad. I got to give something to this. And they cooked it. The food was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, the guy from Toyota, again, I reached out and said, hey, I'm going to, can you give me the contact for the taco truck? Because we want to have that person back. They were so good. And he goes, no, I'm doing something different. I'm taking care of it again this week. Like,
wow.
That's
now,
the best.
Awesome.
Just as an idea, just an idea for other affiliate owners, by the way. If you can find a local business that depends upon a presence within their community, I would have conversations with them about these type of sponsorship opportunities, because these businesses like Brad Barnett at Toyota Walnut Creek, I'm just going to give him a little plug here, sees it as not only an added value, he has a marketing budget for these types of local promotions. So he's figured out, and it's brilliant. Like he let me drive a truck for a year, a Toyota truck. And I thought, oh, man, I didn't want it. And he insisted on it. And then I realized like we had probably, I think it was more than 15 members over a 2-year period buy vehicles from Toyota Walnut Creek. It was a brilliant promotion for him. And then now, like doing the bringing the taco truck, I let everybody know, hey, it's Toyota Walnut Creek. And just yesterday, one of our members, they reached out in the member Facebook group, hey, who's our contact at Toyota Walnut Creek? Because I want to be looking for a car.
That's right there makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's huge. You just probably has to sell one car and it's paid for. But anyway,
Our after party.
Yeah,
Our after party for the intramural opens is at the restaurant right across the street.
Cool.
They donate.
You guys take down the whole.
Oh, that's great.
That's
I should probably tell them that we should do a potluck. I haven't done it because usually we do like a potluck afterwards after the last one, and people bring their own stuff. Right. I mean, people have been bringing like fruit and donuts and whatever, and people just hang out. Like I haven't even mentioned it. Haven't even talked about it. They just do it. Right. But then they, I told my wife, I was like, I don't know. I go, should we have a potluck? I was like, I have to do an intro like right after it at noon. Yeah. And she goes, oh, that'd be great. Because then they'll see all these crazy people like hanging around. Why are all these people here?
Oh, yeah.
Let them sell it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody they enjoy hanging out with each other. We're here a lot. So I think sometimes we like, okay, yeah, they probably don't want to be here this long, but they do. Mm-hmm. It's like-minded people. And I get that comment a lot of that phraseology, like-minded people, like-minded people, like-minded people. And we did a bowling event, and a community bowling event where our entire gym, where all the intramural teams showed up. And at first it was like 5 people signed up, and it's free to charge. I covered the cost of the lanes at the bowling alley. And then all of a sudden, like on Sunday when it happened, I looked on the thing and there's like 40 people signed up. We had probably 50 to 60 people show up to bowl with their family, friends, hung out. It was, by the way, that is for your community. Cool. That is a blast because the kids can go and the kids have a blast.
Yeah.
And everybody, man, we were laughing because I'm going to ask you right now, when's the last time you went bowling, Tim?
I mean, it's been a couple of years, probably.
Yep, same thing. Zia, when's the last time you went bowling?
I don't even.
It's a great. That's why
I was 12.
Right.
So I love it. It's just that it's tough to. There are. I mean, over here, they're all closed down.
Yeah. Although they're starting to.
We don't have any.
There's a new one. There's a new one coming in downtown Walnut Creek, and they do all the lighting and stuff. All the
Really.
Yeah.
Bowling's a great time.
It's great for the kids, but it's also what's cool about it, and I think pickleball would be another good one, is it's an equalizer, meaning the people that are really like, no one's touched a bowling ball. None of your members are going bowling every week. And there's probably 1 or 2 ladies or bros that like went a little more than anybody else when they were younger, so they're probably a little bit better, and it gives them an opportunity to shine. It was really cool.
Have you seen what Jeremy Teal is doing in
this is good.
At Austin?
Fruit and donuts, what a mix is the comment.
Classic.
It's funny because I was going to say something. Yeah, people bring fruit and donuts when you said that.
I mean, we've got people.
Have you seen what JT's doing though? JT took half his indoor gym.
We were
put in pickleball courts, and then he put pickleball courts outside.
Yeah, did you hear that?
I was gonna say they're not only indoor but they're outdoor, we were just there for the CrossFit Health Seminar, and there's more pickleball space in his gym than there is CrossFit space inside and outside. What? He took down all of his outdoor rigs and replaced them all with pickleball. There's like locker rooms for the pickleball. Like his CrossFit dedicated area is now, I think, smaller than I think.
What?
I mean, it's still big. Let's not get crazy. It's a massive space, but it is smaller. He's got 2 indoor pickleball courts, and then he's got more outside. It was
they still do CrossFit essentially on the pickleball courts. Like it's just a floor.
No.
Really?
No, they're go to the central, or it's like, I think it's called Waterloo Pickleball. So he even has a different name. Yeah. It's like a pickleball club. It's brilliant.
There's the YMCA over here in Pleasant Hill. It's a Pleasant Hill CrossFit. They have I don't know what, like 6 pickleball courts out there, and the high school is right on the corner, and they love it because you've got the old crowd and the high school kids coming together and throwing down on the pickleball courts.
I'm still.
But it's I think I could squeeze them in the back. I think in the back of the gym, you drive around. I could put them back there.
The insurance,
flatten it out.
Yeah, what's the insurance? What is it? Is it expensive?
I mean, we looked into it for our HOA. It's oddly expensive for what it is because so many people get hurt.
Yeah. You want to talk about injuries? Anybody that tries to talk about CrossFit, notice how that's all gone away because everything is like. I mean, I have CrossFitters that are walking in going like, "Oh man, my elbow, my knee, my this, my that," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, I was playing pickleball." Yeah. And they feel so good and it seems so easy. And then next thing you know, they played for 2 hours straight. And then they're like, okay, I'm done. And somebody goes, come on, one more game. Okay.
My 16 up class, like they'll come in all the time. Like I hurt myself playing pickleball. Those older guys are just constantly messing themselves up with pickleball.
Oh yeah. They go way too hard.
Diving for the balls.
Do you think the pickleball thing's going to last?
Yep.
They got when I was down in Florida, when we were at Wadapalooza in the hotel, Zia, they had in the bar there, they had professional pickleball up on the TV.
Yeah.
Like spike ball.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah. It's like the new spike ball. Just you can't play.
It's also professional cornhole as well.
There's a park in our area, Redgate Park, where they play. And they got signs up all around the neighborhood, like no pickleball parking here. But the thing that drives me insane, and I feel bad for the residents that moved to this area, and then I have had that beautiful, wonderful park across the street from them for years. And tennis, they used to be tennis courts, and they converted them to pickleball. It is so noisy. I would go insane.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's pretty good. But I don't know. I know Yvonne would.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, that's the other thing. I know Yvonne would love it. She would absolutely love it.
Yeah,
because we used to play a lot of racquetball when we were younger.
I'll say we should try
racquetball. Jeez, how old are you, Craig?
Over at Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, and so maybe we take Jamie. Maybe we take down the space next to us. That space that we've always said we wanted, and that's what we do is we make it pickleball.
There's so much we could do with
season.
That space.
All season. The thing is
that space becoming available?
Yeah.
So the thing that and this is the deal with like bowling over here is you can kind of like, and not like I'm trying to plug it, but in the sense of like the way that we run our model is like, I know exactly how many members like my capacity is for this number of classes, right? So like, I know like, okay, this is how many members we could get to. If I want more, I need to do more classes. I need to do a teen class. I need to do a kids class. I need to do whatever, right? But I'm not going to squeeze more people into each class. I need more classes, right? But you get it to where it's like, okay, how many people can cycle through a pickleball court? And so you get it per square foot in order to figure out how much do you have to charge, right? What, just to cover the rent. And then because we had a guy, they were trying to do that for a basketball court and in like Menlo Park or like in East Menlo, like over by the bay. Yeah. in like a warehouse, and they had it down like with a spreadsheet. They knew exactly like how many people would have to belong to this basketball club, whatever, in order to be able to even just cover the bills. So like you can really dial it in on like, okay, because here's how long a game takes. Here's how many people are playing. Here's the right. Yeah. Then what do? Do you do a membership? Then do you signups? The thing about pickleball though makes me think of like hockey rinks, right? Because the guys, I'm sure you guys probably have some hockey players in your gyms, right? Well, they're playing games start at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. It's crazy because they have to fill that ice and there's demand. And so then you could have, that's where you have that like late night pickleball courts, right? Like you're open till midnight and you could have your league play, or like you, just like a bowling alley, you bracket it all out and it's all determined. I mean, you could do it, but it's just an organizational equation at that point. So
speaking of hockey, you know who played hockey?
Oh, our new, yes. I'm going to mute Tim for this part of the discussion.
What? Oh my gosh.
So CrossFit just hired a new chief marketing officer. Jenna Hueca, I want to say is her last name is.
Hueca, yeah.
Yeah. And she was a Division I hockey player. One of the things that was cool when they talked about her on the affiliate council that, of course, I identified with, was so she was a Division I, but I think she was also like all American or something like that. But then she said she led her team in goals, but she also said that one of her proudest moments was being the most minutes in the penalty box.
She led her team in goals and penalty minutes.
Oh, yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's a tough chick and she's smart. She's got she's a neuroscientist. She's got the Google Analytics certifications. She's got multiple Google Analytics certifications. One of the things I like that.
What does that mean?
Tim did. I don't know what it means. Be quiet.
You use this word a lot. I do not think it means what you think it means.
She spent what I like that Tim doesn't like is that she was at Barry's boot camp. Tim doesn't like it because there's only 87 Barry's boot camp locations. What I liked is she was at Barry's boot camp for like 6 years, and then the previous job before that she was 6 and 7 years. So she's got tenure at the company she's at. She's not jumping from job to job to job. Clearly there was a lot of thought put into this. She's also friends with and knows Jada Kuntz well. He's worked with her in the past.
Do you know what I like about the Barry's boot camp thing?
Yes.
That thing, it's a relatively tiny company, but everyone knows what it is. There's
right, good point.
There's less than 100 locations, and it is a nationally recognized brand, and it is very small and not super interesting as a company. But if you mention it, everybody knows what it is, and that is from their marketing, which if she can do that for a company that has 86 locations that just exercises in the dark, what could she do for a kick-ass brand like CrossFit?
I just muted Tim.
I mean, she could definitely, if she can do that for them, what could she do for CrossFit?
Yes, that's my thought too.
Her talents, I mean.
And CrossFit has said, and that was where they'd let go, but he was not. He was not the chief marketing officer. He was a marketing director. He worked for the chief marketing officer, Keith Knapp, and he was let go. But he said that the reason why he was let go is because he didn't have the particular skill sets. And I think what the skill sets are that CrossFit is interested in, I know primarily, is the online skills. In other words, improving or taking back CrossFit's search engine positioning, its presence on the internet that it used to dominate, and getting that back, and then anything that's related to CrossFit that they have in their archives, that it gets a presence. So if you type "what is fitness," the first thing that pops up is the "what is fitness" article from Greg.
How about would this be coincidence theory that the garage workout, right, for the open, who was there? Who featured prominently at that announcement?
Street parking.
Street parking in the garage.
Yeah.
Right. So at what point is there an acquisition that's coming on? Miranda's kind of said she's stepping back. She's, said she's not going to do as much because she wants to, be at home. She wants to raise the kids. She's not going to be as much of the presence. Are they, it's perfect. I mean, we've talked about it. It's a brilliant idea. Like if you why, I mean, it's the same thing that, Google does, Facebook does, Meta, whatever, is like, hey, like, why do I need to reinvent an app, like a messaging app? I'll just buy WhatsApp. Right? Why do I need to reinvent, a social media platform? We'll just buy Instagram. So it's like, why reinvent it?
To respond to you, it is interesting that Miranda and Julian of Street Parking, who are came out of CrossFit. Julian's they're both games athletes, and they run a very successful online functional fitness program, Street Parking, extremely successful and a great media company. But it is interesting that they have both been very present in media, CrossFit media, over the last 6 months. I think we've probably noticed, maybe a year, but certainly more over the last 3 or 4 months. And they're participating in the open, and they have
they affiliated.
They're affiliated. Their garage is affiliated. Now, Miranda has always stayed true to her roots with CrossFit, and has always attributed her success to what she did with CrossFit. And she was a flow master as well, right?
I believe
for a lot of years.
I think so.
I
think it's great. Don't mistake what I'm saying as any kind of derogatory, negative type of thing.
I don't.
I'm saying it's like I'm just trying to read some tea leaves, and just notice things, powers of observation type of deal.
I mean, how cool would it be, like, as CrossFit grows, the $4,500 affiliate fee isn't really going to work for these garage affiliates? How, like, separate but equal type of situation where they're maybe not listed on the affiliate map as a CrossFit, but they are still considered like this alternate, like, group of people that still honor the mythology, and maybe have 2 or 3 people that work out together, and just a different division.
Tim, what was your idea you gave me? Maybe now we might be going on 2 years.
It was 4 years ago, dude.
Yeah. Oh, was it that long ago?
Yeah, we were sitting at barbecue in Hayward.
Oh yeah. So what's the idea?
Well, you allow, because we were talking about the rise of street parking, and because it's so popular, you're like, well, where's the garage gyms in CrossFit, right? Like a lot of us, we started in garage. I started in my home garage. I mean, that was one of the best articles, how to get, you start in your garage, you grow up, you get kicked out, you get whatever, right? I literally got kicked out of my garage by the homeowners association. So, so I know what it's like. But you do that, and then you just keep going. But what if you don't, and there was the arguments go way back to the Russes, right? And the debate about when can I say that I'm doing CrossFit, right? And they're like, well, are you doing CrossFit in your garage? Yes. Are you doing it with friends? Yeah, you're doing CrossFit. Do you accept money from them to do these workouts and call it CrossFit? Okay, you can't do that, right? They were like drawing that line. Okay, so I
remember that.
So, but what can you do is that you need association. What have we talked about earlier, right? Like Craig and the email. Like now I'm doing the email. I don't know if you do an email or not, Zia, but it's so powerful to just get the identity, right? You need disciples. You need people, advocates, and just little representatives all running around saying like, yeah, I'm a CrossFitter, and yeah, I'm wearing a CrossFit shirt and whatever, right? So it's like, okay, or I'm a garage fitter. So it's like, make it easy for them to identify, and then have a path of, like you said, Zia, is like grow into that, right? Is like, hey, like right now, I'm just like, I just want to be able to call my, CrossFit demo or CrossFit Kingsley Park or whatever, right? Like, And so like,
hey, Jamie,
I just want to pay a couple, $1, like just to be able to say like, I'm allowed to call it that. And I get to identify as an affiliate, and maybe I get a little perks, and I've got different levels that I can go up, but like, oh, this is my job. Now I'm in a space. I don't know how you do it, but then it's like, oh, look, now you're full-fledged, but you just have different levels.
Hey, Jamie, would you, if it was $500 a year, and that's numbers not picked out of nowhere, by the way, because anybody that knows the OGs, that was the original. Would you, that CrossFit gym that you have behind you in your garage, would you affiliate that CrossFit garage?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think like from a garage gym perspective, like it's a small space. You're not running and operating a huge business out of it, but this could be kind of like a feeder for somebody to go into a bigger box.
Totally.
It's like there's more affiliates around the area, and a lot of people, I mean, I've talked to my neighbors about it. Just yesterday, I had one of my neighbors that walks laps around this block. Hey, what's the going rate of personal training? And it's like, let's have a conversation about it. We can talk about what you want to do. And we've talked so many times about, just rallying a neighborhood workout session once a week on a weekend where we get together, bring a dumbbell, bring a sandbag, whatever you got, we can work something out. But having more CrossFit affiliate in a garage setting, just kind of, it's like an implant of a CrossFitter to then potentially grow into a bigger CrossFit affiliate box.
And if they don't, it's okay. Like that's the thing, is like, that is like I wouldn't want to pressure the garage fitters to move to grow and expand, because I look at it as like, this is okay. Let's call us. We're at the top. Let's say we're at the top, right? We're the pros. We're in the pro athletes, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and okay, I might be in the B league, and Diablo's in the A league. Just based on size, revenue, who cares, right? But like, it takes a whole lot of youth, ball players, whatever, to start to sift out who's going to make it to the pros. Right. But you still need them. They're your fans. They're the ones that are cheering. They're the ones that are going to the games. They're the ones that are with the eyeballs on the live streams. They're the ones, you know what I mean? So like, they're important. You need to grow that base.
That's a really good point. You get it. You need it. It helps seed the organic growth. That's the grassroots.
Yeah. And what they did with the education, the military education is like, to me, like, that is a 10-year investment.
Yes.
In like, hey, these are who are going to be, when they age out of the military in 5 years, whatever their enlistment is, or whatever they're like, oh, I'm done. I'm not going to re-up. What do I do with my life? Okay, well, here's a path. You've been doing CrossFit. You've got a level 1. You know how to do it here, and we can show you how. Now we have these, means and methods.
See the CrossFit post on the New Hampshire Police Department. She talked about she was just doing a dialogue in front of the camera talking about the New Hampshire Police Department and how he's an avid CrossFitter, this guy that runs the training program for it. But 10 years ago, he started introducing it to recruits. And now almost every single recruit that's come out of the New Hampshire Police Department training program, every single one over the last 10 years has had CrossFit training. And now now they have an affiliate in their training department. So that
where were the early level 1s in Colorado?
Yeah, at where was that? It was
in Golden, Colorado State Patrol.
Yeah,
that was super OG.
Yeah, Zia, do you see it as a threat, or do you see it as
No, I think it's so great. And it's more people saying they CrossFit. Like,
exactly.
That's amazing. Nobody's leaving an affiliate to go to a garage, right? It's a different type of person, but they're still CrossFitters. And then that's just a whole nother group of people. If we truly want the 30 million CrossFitters, that's a great way to get it. And it's how it started. So I think we should always have that. I do think it should be separate from the affiliate map. I've heard some gnarly stories of people going to people's houses looking for CrossFits, and that's creepy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want that either.
Oh, that's a good
you don't want them on the affiliate map, but and you don't want it to be the same, right? The $4,500 gets you like a professional establishment and this and that, but the garage gyms are so important, and I think that they could I mean, not easily. You're going to get some dickhead with like a 3,000 square foot garage attached to their property and be like, it's
shred
a garage.
shed, you mean? You mean the shred shed?
Yeah. And then, so like,
that's a little more than the guy in North Carolina.
Yeah. You're going to have to definitely find some, like, whether it be square footage or revenue, or I don't even know how, but like, it should definitely be there. I think it's so important for
Tim and I said we were talking about competition with CrossFit, and I proposed to him, and Gary Gaines at the time, who was running affiliate relationships, that I thought that the biggest threat to CrossFit was street parking, and I didn't mean it in a because I love Miranda and Julian, and what they've done is really remarkable, just absolutely incredible, and then their allegiance to CrossFit throughout that process is even. It's more impressive. But I said that's a business that could potentially become a threat. So it is, for me, it's nice to see them. And I did see that, like when they're getting closer and closer, when they did the fitness freedom at Dave's ranch, and Dave is good friends with Miranda and Julian. And
well, they set that up when Dave got fired.
That's
right.
A
good point.
Dave was fired. They asked him, they're like, oh, hey, could we use the ranch? And he's like, yeah.
They being on that announcement, Miranda being an announcer on that announcement was, those are things I noticed. Like Tim and I are, because that's why we're good conspiracy theorists together. I'm like,
coincidence.
Yeah. Why Miranda's on there talking? Huh. Why would they want to promote Miranda and the brand? But I told Dave, because Tim mentioned the idea to me about, hey, look, just make it $100 a year. I think it was at that time we talked about. And I told Dave, and he's like, okay. And Dave's mentioned it in his week in review. Because people have asked that question as well, and it's something we've been talking about. And I know I've
heard it pop up a few times too.
Yeah, Dave's for it.
It's come up a lot. It's also something they've been talking about, like amongst the reps. I know have been talking a lot about it, because the garage affiliates are the ones that are like, I can't afford $4,500, and so it's kind of come back around. I think a little bit, but more of discussion with HQ, just because of like, what do we do with the garage people?
Hey, I'll say it right now. Like CrossFit should do it before someone else does. Meaning, street parking. What if street parking decided to offer up affiliates? It's a pain in the ass, and like that whole process.
What would the credentials be required? Like, there's just L1. I mean, I would say like you should have gone through an L3 so you can, properly.
L3, slow down.
Well, I mean, are we just gonna let everybody open up a garage gym? Like,
that's the best part.
Easy there, cowboy. L3.
I think they should still have, like, if they're going to be training people, they should still have their credentials. But I mean, L3 is a little aggressive. But
current credentials.
2. I mean, like, to have a big box is a 2.
I think a level 1. I mean, I had a level 1 for a long time.
Like, I think L1 for the garage is fair.
I want to let me just clarify something. Both Zia and Tim and Jamie and I have OG L1s.
Yeah,
I think
multiple.
I think there's fundamentally a difference between the L1s 10 years ago and to the end of the L1s today. But that's good.
My first one didn't even have a test. They were just like, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
The first one. Yeah. I was in May 2009 at San Diego.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't have a test of mine either.
No, we had to go back and retest.
My first L1 was May of 2009.
But it was intense. It was, man, it was brutal when I went through it.
That was October of 2009.
Same one.
And then I took a test. I took a renewal. I didn't have to take the whole thing. I just had to take a test.
Yeah.
So I took the test at TJ's. I was all nervous because I showed up on like a Sunday at the end in order to be able to take the test. And then I did a full level 1 at Silicon Valley. And then I did the coach's prep before it was before it was level 2. And Austin told me, he goes, hey, they're going to be making this course the level 2. And so there wasn't a test then. And I'm not sure if there was a test when I took it was 21. I did a renewal in like 21, I think 21 or 22
for the L2
in San Rafael. Yeah.
Hey, we got a bouncing noise on the mics. Is that?
Oh, it might have been me.
Tim, quick kicking the
that's
table.
you. That's you, dude.
It's me hitting this. It was just me hitting this wonderful microphone that was, provided to me.
No, I just think like having more a higher level of, from a garage gym, like I don't know, I feel like it's easy to interpret, especially if you're teaching people that aren't like fully buying into doing CrossFit. But if you're just
throwing down, man, you're just throwing down.
Yeah, but I mean, like then they go to a big box. Like, do you want them to show up fully prepared to do full CrossFit, or are they just, hey, this is what my friend in my garage gym told me to do?
Right. See, I like this right here. Have a base pump on the number of people you train. Less than 10 L1. Yeah, I like that to move to box. Pete, that's a great idea. Again, that's something that I've kind of proposed. And it's people say, well, how do you keep track of that? Well, and we got to use the honor method first of all, and then two, if it becomes, then you use self-reporting, like Zia.
We're gonna check your Instagram. Duh.
I mean, I would, yeah.
You have more than 15 people in your garage right now.
Yeah, that's actually probably the best way to do it right there. Right.
Because asking for financials and reviewing financials tips toes into which category of right? We're not franchises. You can't require
Get out.
You can't require somebody to share financials. So that's, although the best way to do it, in my opinion, really tricky legally, especially in the state of California, because the state of California is going to.
If they move to a bigger space, right? They move to a bigger space. There's see the address change.
What if it was like anything under like 1,000 square foot would be deemed as a garage gym? And if you go above that, then all of a sudden you can obviously.
I think it has to be smaller.
I had 75 members. I had 75 members and 750 square feet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what this is, but
the rule of thumb that
400 square feet,
8 people at a time.
The rule of thumb I gave in running a CrossFit gym or setting a CrossFit gym up when I talk to affiliate owners is 1 member per 20 square feet. Tim's he's like, Paris, where it's 1 per 10 square feet. You can do it. It's, it's manageable, but I like, 1,000's probably a little too big. I think the number is probably 500 square feet, that kind of thing.
There's a couple. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Oh, you're saying like how many fit in a class?
So this guy's working on CrossFit 2.0. Let me know if you're interested in my ebook.
Good talk.
What? Okay. All right. Yeah. Andy Petronic tried to do that. He sold a book.
Dude, there's
quit your gym. He said it was quit your gym or something like that. It was basically CrossFit in a book.
Yeah. By the way, there's 10,000 other people that are working on CrossFit 2.0, and they've been working on it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Good luck, Barry's boot camp.
So, anyway, the hire, but go all the way back. We close the loop. It's good. We got off top. We didn't really dwell on Jenna too much. She'll have to prove herself or prove her worth, but I think it's the idea.
I have a call with her later today, so I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. That's good. But my first take is that they got someone that's going to improve CrossFit's presence online, and that is important. And that's important to the people that are running the business. So that's, I think, look, we sacrificed quite a bit of our online presence back in 2018.
Sacrificed.
And
that's one way to put it.
And well, we did, because trying to build it back. And when we went back online, there was, that I'm aware of, there was no concerted effort to kind of regain that position. It was just, we're back online kind of thing. So, yeah.
He's not only going to create a book, he's going to win the CrossFit Games.
Oh, he's going to win the CrossFit Games.
Oh, you're reading the comments?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
He's going to compete CrossFit Games open category as a.
It's a different story.
2025.
This is what was
category? The open.
He was in my category. Craig, who is the buddy? Who is your chiropractic buddy?
Oh, which guy?
The Looper.
Oh, Trevor Bachmeyer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. With the start there, bro. That's I can't say that I've ever had a member come in and say I'm going to the CrossFit Games and then disappeared off the face of the earth 3 months later when they start actually doing CrossFit and figure out how friggin' hard it is.
Or getting judged on it.
Yeah.
What's the point about?
Okay,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
We're getting caught.
This is a troll. You're getting trolled. You've made it, Craig. You've made it.
Yeah, he's made it. Yeah.
PRs all day. You've made it.
All right, so I'm gonna pull the plug on this right now. I just because it's just a distraction for the comments. Anyway, we're all the way back to the topic of what's important to CrossFit, and I want to save it all of it. Yeah, how are you guys on time, by the way?
I got 27 minutes till class starts.
Okay, so I did have an opportunity to meet the people that have influence over the organization and the company. I got invited to a dinner earlier this week with a few of the board members and the CEO, and it was for them a desire to want to learn about what it's like as affiliate owner right now in CrossFit and get some real life experiences. I didn't know what to expect, actually, to be honest with you, but I ended up sitting there and not really eating. They actually laughed that I wasn't able to eat because they kept asking questions, and then I would tell them stories. I talked to Zia and Tim before I went into the meeting. Tim got me pumped up. Zia gave me real advice.
I got you pumped up. I just told you don't get it. Don't put on a blindfold and watch out for farm animals.
Yeah. So what was that Tom Cruise movie? So Tim thought it was like I was going into the
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones meeting, which was face masks and capes and shit. But it wasn't, and Tim and then Zia told me, he said, "Look, just humanize it," and that stuck with me too. But it was a really good conversation because first of all, they're real people. The thing I took away from it, like my first observation was, oh, these people are all really healthy and fit. Like you could tell that they're healthy and fit. As it turns out, one of them is a member of a CrossFit affiliate. Two of them actually do CrossFit. One of them does it kind of part-time and the other one does it full-time. That's his fitness. And I would say that three of them if for anybody that's in the investment management business, they'll know the significance of this information. Three of them are from Boston and one of them is from Silicon Valley. And then Don was there, the CEO, and Don's from over here. Why that is meaningful is that that Boston is usually thought of as kind of what they call old money, longer term investments. It's the headquarters for most of the mutual fund companies in this country, Fidelity, and all of the big ones are headquartered out of Boston because they have legislation there that made it easier for mutual fund companies to get started and operate there. Boston is also the home of many universities, probably the highest concentration of higher level education in this country. So there's a lot of really, really smart people there. And what I gathered from this and my observation was that these are really smart people. You don't have to explain stuff twice to them. They get it right away and they make the connections. They're keenly interested in health and fitness for themselves. And, none of them drank. And when they did drink and what they did, the big conversation, the first part of the conversation was all about non-alcoholic beer and how cool it is that it's finally coming up and starting to take off. And there's some really good selections of non-alcoholic beers. And then it got into a discussion on sleep. And Don brought up Matthew Walker's book on sleep. And they talked about that. And then they talked about the sleep pod, the sleep 8 system that I think, Tim, you turned me on to it. And they have, and like three of them had it, and they were taught, and then we were all agreeing about how important sleep is, and we got into dimension, all that. That was significant to me because this investment that they've made into CrossFit they're not taking lightly. It's not a company, because the conventional wisdom is that private equity goes into a company to try to turn it around, fix it, and then sell it off. That's not what they're doing here. They picked CrossFit and making the investment in CrossFit because they see the importance of health and fitness in our society today. They were very interested in the stories of the success stories of people turning their life around, their health around, that I told, and were genuinely interested in those, and made them feel good. And the follow-up email that I got afterwards, because I sent them a thank you note saying, "Hey, thanks for kind of having me there." I was like, it was a privilege. But the note I got back was, man, that it made it, it was really good to hear the impact that CrossFit's having on people's lives. I told a couple of good stories from our members. One of the first thing I was asked was by the woman that was sitting next to me, by the way, these guys are all in their 50s, early 50s or into 60s, and very sophisticated. Obviously, have made their lot in life. But she asked me, she goes, "What is the most? You've been in this a long time." She goes, "What's the most like interesting story you've heard from an affiliate?" And
geez,
heard lots. I know. I was just like, "Oh boy, here we go."
How do you pick one?
And I said, "Well, it's hard to top the ones that I've had myself, because and you guys who can relate to the stories that you've had in your gym." But I told the one about CrossFit NYC, which is owned by a guy by the name of Hari Singh. And Hari told me the story at the 10-year reunion about how his former partner that he bought out sold shares of his gym that he didn't own because he was already out, in order to fund his movie production business. And that wasn't necessarily the biggest problem. The biggest problem was that the shareholders came back to Hari like 3 years later looking to divest. And they said, "Hari, hey, we want to sell our shares. Can we arrange a buyback?" And he's like, "Shares? What shares?" And that wasn't the biggest issue. It was the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I should say, he spent over $100,000 in legal fees trying to unwind that and free his affiliate and his business from those dealings. He had no knowledge of. This guy had no authority. The individual, Josh Newman, ended up doing time for it, and because that wasn't his only fraudulent venture. So it was a really good conversation and super interesting to hear their perspectives and their thoughts on the company and where they and what they wanted to know. And I ended up doing most of the talk because they kept asking me question after question after question and perspective. But they were really pleased with the open numbers and what that meant for the company. And it's a correlation. We don't know if it's true, and you guys can comment on this, Tim and Zia. We have had two of our best years ever in the last 2 years. We've also, coincidentally, and maybe correlated, we've also had the most affiliate signups or affiliate registrations for the Open in the last 2 years. And it kind of sets a trend, sets a mood. More people signing up, obviously, add more members. More members equals more revenue. And I think that's consistent with other affiliates. I don't know if is that. Do you guys find that to be true with the Open?
I agree. I mean, we've had two amazing, great years, and our affiliate signups or our Open signups are way up.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of gone with our membership, right? I mean, we're just under half of our membership is signed up for the Open, and they don't, and you have to kind of convince them, like, it's okay if you don't make every workout, like, come once and you'll think it's worth it, right? Like, even if you can make one of the days. So it's been a good response in that, for sure. So yeah, I mean, and we don't even, we talk about it. It's like what we talk about for a few weeks, but I don't like go super crazy on it just because like half the gym's not doing it. So, but they like to hear it, maybe they want to do it or they wish they could, or they got, T-ball practice or, whatever else that they're doing and managing. So yeah, it's good. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Even in my age group, even in 2018, that was like the biggest year, right? Like, so the 40 to 44 men, I remember there was I think it was 18,000. I think it was 16,000 in 2017, 18,000 in 2018. And I'm in the 45 to 49s, and we're at almost 18,000.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I mean, you can tell, I mean, the numbers are definitely going up, and it's in the demographics. Yeah. In some ways, it might not be the young guns, but, maybe
the CrossFit has 300
don't have real jobs.
CrossFit has the Open has 343,000 signups. They're on a 3-year growth trend, so they've gotten better every year the last 3 years, which is a really good sign. They're not at their highest level. Don admitted that it opened up really strong, and they were really stoked, and then it slowed down, and then he said he started getting a little bit nervous about Open signups.
But their goal was 336, so they did beat their goal.
Yeah, they did beat their goal, but he said he got a little nervous, and I think that's where, and he suggested that there was influence over the workout that was announced in order to increase the participation. And you guys know this, like if that workout is doable by your member base, it makes it a lot better for.
Oh yeah. Well, they always do that. I mean, that's the way it's always been.
Yeah,
it's always been like that.
Didn't they open it up with muscle up work? Last year they opened it up with muscle up.
But it ends with a muscle up, so it's still very accessible because very few people are getting to that muscle up.
Right, but if you're trying to boost registration on the first week,
if
people are like waiting for the first workout and they're on the fence, and then boom, muscle ups. They're like, oh yeah, that's not for me. I can't do that. The muscle ups should not be first because then they will kill sales. Anyone that's on the fence.
I have really appreciated that the workouts are very affiliate friendly. We have it. What I'm most curious and here you go. Let's go around the horn. Will we have to use tape this week? That's what I'm wondering, because we haven't had to use any tape.
No.
So is there going to be any kind of?
They said they wouldn't have tape unless there was like a safety concern. Which I think that if we were to have tape, it would be this week with maybe a lift. And maybe the lift has to stay within a certain box.
Or it has to stay away from the pull-up bar.
Well, no.
Possibly, yeah.
Let's be a little bit more direct. Are you alluding to there's not going to be wall walks?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just curious because I'm saying that it's been so accessible and affiliate friendly that, like, I mean, because we have so many signups. Like, I think next year, if we go over 100 next year, I should probably make a deal with them. If we go over 100, we'll do Friday Night Lights, and we'll figure something out. Because, like, we were running the first week, we ran heats of 15 people, which means 30 people are inside our space, plus a couple people on the ends watching. Craig, you've seen our gym. We had 3 people set up down the middle.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was packed, but it was doable. Right. Super doable. So it was great. And we were able to cycle through and get people through. We had like 6 heats of people and then at least 5. And then plus, I think, a last heat. And then last week we had 5 heats. 4 of them had 14. So we were running heats of 14 people. So it's been very friendly in that respect. So I think it's great.
That's exactly right. That was intentional. They said it right in the beginning. I heard Adrian talking about it on a podcast, that it was very intentional, and that was based upon feedback from affiliate owners.
I think it's great. No overhead barbell walking lunges.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible to do it like last year's first workout. Last year's first workout, like you said, was like the chipper with the ring muscle ups. But you had a rower, you had a barbell, you had a medicine ball, you needed a pull-up bar. And the floor plan, like this whole year has been way more accessible.
I bet you next year they'll get more affiliates on board because the affiliates promoting them creates more signups. They just need to. There's a little bit. They just got to show them. Okay, we're going to do it like this now. Oh, I could have totally done that.
One of the things that was discussed at dinner on Monday was, are there more incentives that can be provided to affiliate owners to participate? Because one of the records that they've set this year was the highest average number of participants per affiliate, and it's not just dividing They're not doing, dividing this number by the number of affiliates. They're actually looking at how many affiliates people signed up in each affiliate. And this year was the highest number they've ever had of participants per affiliate. Now that's awesome. That also means, as Tim pointed out, we may have less affiliates than in past years. So that helps boost that number. It helps change that variable. But they're interested.
But the ones that are in it are stronger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
So they showed this on the affiliate council call. This was really cool. Push press data, and the push press data showed that. What was that? It was the chart that showed, and I had to actually screenshot it. Maybe I shouldn't do that. It's gonna get me kicked off the council. But it showed the affiliates that participated in the open had a much greater customer retention rate than those that didn't participate in the open. So if you don't participate in the open, your retention rate is high, and that's based upon membership data that Push Press has.
Interesting.
Really cool information.
It makes sense though.
Right?
Yeah.
You get 3 weeks to have an event where you and I told that's what I told the board. I go, look, it's a pain in the ass. I dread it every year. Like it's like the work, the hours and everything else. But it forces me to have one-on-one contact with the majority of my customer base for 3 weeks in a row, and the members love it, and it so creates engagement that ordinarily might not be created. Well, it wouldn't.
But so then what you said, like the answer to the incentive, right? Like, I mean, what we've talked about is like, because right now, right, we're all saying there was 1 year I charged to do the open because we provided a t-shirt, and I was like, and I told them, I was like, listen, we're coming in on a Saturday, we're spending half our day here. Right? Like, can you pay me for my time? Right? Like a lot of you don't come on Saturdays. So like you're getting a free workout. I don't get anything out of this. Right. And so then it was like, but you know what? We had a great participation. That was 2012. But then, but if it was like, oh, hey, there's an incentive from CrossFit that says like, hey, we're going to share this open experience. Right. And it's like, you know what? We're going to just split the revenue, right? Then it's like you will have people that will sign up at the gym. They don't even intend to come. They just want you to have some money, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and it won't even be that much because if it's like, it might be. Let's say we got $10. Let's say we just split it in half. We'd get an extra $900. Yeah, but $300 a week. That's not bad.
There's a couple different ways they can do it. I do think some sort of compensation incentive would be affiliates would just appreciate it. Even it doesn't matter how much it is. Like, oh, get a little bit back.
Even via like certification.
Yeah.
Right. Like credits towards certifications.
Oh, yeah. Or credit to certification.
That would be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea, Jamie. I like that. And
like CEUs or something.
Well, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
And I think this too is if they made it easier for me to run an intramural open, and that's literally just something they could build into that leaderboard. There is, right now I can go in and pull up my Diablo leaderboard and download the CSV file, and it has a lot of good data, and that is super helpful.
And that was new of last year, though, right?
Yeah, it was. That was new last year. But what would be really cool is if I could just run it all on the CrossFit Games website.
On the app.
They provide the platform.
Yeah, they provide the platform for it, where I can.
Which leads into our other discussion about being a platform.
Yes. Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't forget you have to coach them.
I know. I'm on it. But what I said was that last night, whatever we were talking, and I was like, the benefit of like, having members and that do so many cool things. So we have a guy, I'll still say he's in the gym. He's in temporary exile in South Korea because he was part of taking Amazon from a seller and turning them into a platform, right? Where now lots of sellers are operating on Amazon. Now Amazon is profitable. Now Amazon's like really dominating, take it to the next level. So what does it look like? And this is where that street parking thing comes in. CrossFit is the platform that everything gets built on. So now you can build the open on CrossFit. You can build, even the games like, hey, you chose that location. You know how many butts are going to be in the seats. There's no festival seats. There's no festival passes. If you didn't price your tickets right, which you're probably kicking your butt because yourself in the butt because you didn't press it high enough because you still sold out faster than ever. Right. So like you could have charged even more. So you could have made even more. So there's zero chance that you should be able to say like, well, we don't make money on the games. Well, that's your fault. Right. But you're building it's all on a platform. So CrossFit becomes the platform and then everything gets built on that. Right. And in a way, they've done that even as some people don't like it, but the affiliate provider network, right. All that different kind of stuff, a little bit of perks for us, but it becomes a platform. Right. And so they're building the platform, right, and in order to build off of that. So, you know who it's just another thing. Like, and that's a software thing, right? I mean, tell me that.
Well, so you're Tim's right in the heart of all of that venture capital, high tech stuff. But you know who, I'm not poo-pooing the idea. I love it. I think you're right on target. But you know who the person was? One person was that used that term. And he was lambasted for it within the CrossFit community. Eric Rosa. And I have slides where he goes, CrossFit's a platform. And it actually, I think it even was on the website originally. But that model makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for CrossFit, the company.
Yeah. What did we talk about? The people that win the DECA comps, the people that win Tough Mudders, the people that win Spartan races, what do? How do they train? They do CrossFit.
That's right.
Yeah.
CrossFit is your means to be successful in all of these things, right? So,
and as an affiliate owner paying $4,500 a year, we get access to all of the tools within that platform to help make us successful, to enable our customers to, and that way, what we want them to do too. You're right. Is then now we're creating the athletes, we're creating the people that are going to the certs, we're creating the people that are going to the games, like, and all we're doing is kind of handing them off to parts of the platform.
The incentive, here's an incentive, is create that software, right, that we as affiliates have to be able to run that affiliate open, right? Yeah. Like, hey, it's a great idea. We've got all the success. Nicole's got all the information. Dude, seriously, I could make one phone call and I could have a guy write that code over the weekend. And it could be just plugged into the current, system. Right. I mean, that's how simple that stuff is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means, what it looks like. But you tell the right guy and they're like, oh yeah, I got that. How's this? And I'm like, I just told you 5 minutes ago.
So it would be really cool for my members to be able to, like, once the scores are validated, boom, go in and also pull up the results from our intramural open.
Oh, team ranking. By the way,
that's why I was late this morning, because I wanted to get the intramural open results out.
And it would take it out of your hands. Now you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah,
they get the scores. It's like what do you mean we're waiting on the scores and they're writing up, who's in what ranking on a whiteboard? Are you kidding me? You got the chip times. How do you not have software to deal with that?
They're pouring over my spreadsheet looking for the errors I made.
Yeah.
By the way, the black team won again this week.
Shocker. Hey, at least we're moving up the leaderboard.
Yeah.
My black team won this week too.
Back in black. These guys are good. We had a bowling event that was pretty cool too. So, but anyway, let me see that. I think that overall, just to wrap this up. But man, this is a good discussion.
That's awesome.
We're all for garage affiliates and make it, and make it affordable for gyms. And then when they graduate, move them on to different certification levels, different pricing points.
And next year I'll do an affiliate open when they give me the software built in to do it.
We'll do affiliate open when the software comes. Make it easier for.
Come on, Jenna, write that down. Zia, tell her tomorrow.
Give these guys tools. We're okay. We're okay with Jenna for now. Zia's going to meet her and talk to her in the board meeting. These guys are all healthy and fit, and they're interested in the success of affiliates from not only a financial perspective, which benefits all of us, by the way. If anybody has any doubts about that, what private equity wants is what we want: growth of CrossFit and profitability of CrossFit, because that we all participate in that. But also, they are keenly interested in, and this was genuine. This was in conversations I had with them and in email follow-ups that they didn't have to send, indicating how good they felt that their investment was doing good in the world, and that's a good statement for longevity.
For sure.
Great way
and then and I think that's it. You guys, that was a good conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for doing it, Craig. Thanks for the invite.
No, let's do this. Let's do this once a month. I want to do once a month with you guys. And we'll try and start on time.
Be awesome. I'll be in the studio again next time, so Craig doesn't have to mess with.
Well, now that I've got my sound system set up, I'm good.
Keep blaming it on me this time
because you weren't there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I needed to go back through it again. I needed to get here. All I needed to do was get here 30 minutes sooner.
Yeah, you say that every time. You say it every time. We're like, going live. He's walking in the office.
I know. All right, you guys. Thanks for being here.
See you guys.
All right, cheers.
See you guys.